All right, we're back. The Graveyard Shift Movie Podcast, episode number 28. Uh, this week, watched A Quiet Place from 2018, not 2016, which I guessed. Uh, Still thought this movie was a lot older than what it was. Uh, this is my second time seeing this movie. I watched it once, like a couple months after it came out or whatever. But I think I liked it better the second time around this time. Uh, I'll give this one like a 7. I liked it watching it this time again.
You piece of shit.
Wow. Don't do me like that.
Oh, hey guys. Sorry, I didn't say anything. I just realized I hadn't said a word through that whole intro.
Nope.
Your introduction.
I finally got through one intro without being interrupted.
Yeah. I was reading about MIDI controllers anyway.
Okay.
I was
Oh, you're dying.
COVID.
Uncle Bob, R.I.P.
Oh yeah, R.I.P. Uncle Bob.
R.I.P.
Rest in pieces, buddy. Reese's in pieces.
Okay. That's how they wanted to bury him.
In pieces?
No, in a casket of Reese's Pieces.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're fucking with me. Like, because your family's weird, so you might have really loved them.
Never know.
And then, yeah, now
Yeah.
pie on my face.
Hey, what are you giving this one time?
I made you watch this movie way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like,
No. You made me watch this movie, and you led up with it talking about it was the greatest movie ever, and you cried and stuff. And then I watched it, and I said, oh, yeah, it was fine. And then you were like,
And
you
now-
motherfucker.
now you're giving it a 7.
Listen, I've had time to reassess the movie now.
Well, I've also had time,
Mhm.
and I give this movie a 2.
Goddamn. We did a little flip-flop there, huh?
So I have reasons.
Reasons.
And-
You are the reason.
You all right? You all right? What'd you drink? Is that vodka? Is that a jug of vodka?
It's a I keep a jug of vodka by me.
Just in case, just for a time, is when there's a 5-point split on movies.
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta get ready for this one.
So to not to justify my score, but just saying, I've seen this movie like 9 times.
Yeah.
I've seen it a bunch. So, like, if it's your first time watching the movie, I think it's a solid like 9, solid 9 or 8. But on like the 10th view, it's a 2. It's gotta be. But we'll get into that during the spoiler.
Spoilers. Yeah. Well, hey, spoiler warning for A Quiet Place. Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had that MIDI controller, I could be.
You could do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I don't yet. Thank
Yeah.
you, Stimulus.
So do you ever watch that thing where Bill Burr talks about the guy who made that music for the scene of Cool Hand Luke, where they're doing the tarring, like sold that music, and it was the boop 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 boop, boop breaking the news,
Oh no.
Yeah, that just reminded me when you did that. But anyway, besides the point, spoilers. Quiet Place. Go watch.
Spoilers for Cool Hand Luke.
Spoilers for Cool Hand Luke. Yeah. But anyway, begin.
Well, I'll get to my stuff later.
Okay.
But, you gonna give it like the rundown of the movie, or how do you want to do it?
Oh,
The guy who picked this movie isn't here.
he isn't here. Yeah.
Aliens come from, they never say where.
I saw that in the basement there's a news clipping about a meteor striking Mexico. And so people were like, maybe they were on the meteor. But yeah, you never really find out where the aliens are from. But
I'm gonna guess that they're from in the Earth.
yeah, they like dug up out.
Because that's how they wouldn't. Because okay, spoiler. We're already in spoilers.
Spoilers.
They can't see.
They can't see.
They echolocate, which is like they use sound
Yeah.
to pinpoint.
They got
where,
like
stuff.
fucking 12 goddamn eardrums in their head. Yeah.
So you would think it'd be like a creature because your eyes are useless. So I guess in space your eyes would be useless anyways.
Uh-huh.
Darkness of space.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Like you get into it, It's like I don't even know if they have eyes.
Yeah.
But now that I think about it,
Well, it definitely didn't seem like it. That was like the stand still and you're good to go.
Well,
But
yeah, I'm just talking about the character model. I don't know if they had like
oh
something that looked like
yeah,
eyes, but
they kind of
yeah.
reminded me of the, even though I've never watched the show, but I know the monster or whatever, the thing in the Stranger Things where it like peels back and stuff, you know.
Oh no, there's nothing like Stranger Things.
Well, no, I wasn't saying this movie's anything like it. I just said it kind of reminded me of that monster,
Well, the
the way it
monster in
looked.
Stranger Things, it has a sunflower head,
Yeah,
so it's like a big flower
yeah.
thing. But
I was
I
there
don't know,
was
the monsters are good.
yeah.
I think they did a great job on the monsters.
I did. They looked real nasty at points,
Yeah.
like when they just would show in all the ear drums, specifically near the end when they're making the high pitch with like the hearing aid or whatever, and it's like freaking out, and I was like, oh, this thing looks gross. It's like, yeah, but yeah, never know
Um,
where they come from.
you never know where they come from. You never know anything about the family other than the fact that they're a family.
Yeah,
So you don't know if like they're nurses or doctors or
which then so there's a sequel for those movies supposed to be coming out. I think it might have already been supposed to come out, but then COVID happened, so I think it's coming out next year. But all the trailers look like a prequel just because society's like rebuilt or whatever, and then shit kicks off. So I don't. Maybe we'll learn more about them, but in this movie, you don't know anything about them really.
and so it's a family who's living silently on a farm, and when they make noise, it attracts aliens, and the aliens kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I mean kill like without prejudice, drive-by shooting, almost killing. Right?
Yeah.
Like they
Like I'm not
are.
even sure if they eat them. Like I think they're just
Yeah,
killing.
yeah, they're just destroying things that make noise or
Yeah,
something. It's because they kill a raccoon early on,
they do.
and they don't eat it or
That was the
nothing.
saddest part
So
of that movie.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a really sad, depressing movie,
Yeah.
but anyways, it's all them like trying not to make noise, and if they make noise, the monsters come and get them,
That is.
and that's the movie. You know everything
That,
about the
that
movie
is the
now.
movie. Watching it the second time, um, like nothing really happens. If that like stuff happens, but what I mean is like, well, the beginning, it's them and they're shopping around in that store for supplies and shit, and they're being super quiet, and like the mom's moving the pill bottles and she's making sure it's like steady the whole time. Uh, and then the youngest son like finds a fucking toy rocket ship, and instantly he almost drops it, and like the sister has to slide in and make a fucking stellar catch on that thing. Uh, but then they like get rid of it. They're like, "Oh no, you can't play with this because it'll make too much noise or whatever." Um, and then I think he picks it up again at one point, and that's when the dad like takes out the batteries and puts them down or whatever. But they leave, and the sister, trying to be a good sister or whatever, gives him back the rocket ship. Which for some reason I remembered from the first time. I thought that they had given him the rocket ship to play with, but then the sister had given him the batteries back for some
No,
reason.
no, yeah,
And I
he like
remember,
kills the battery.
yeah, and then looking back, I was like, okay, this is, I don't feel. Because I remember the first viewing leading into it, so the kid then takes the rocket ship. You see he takes the batteries too. They're walking along this fucking bridge, and then the next thing you know, the kid pops in the batteries. The rocket ship starts pew 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 pew, and shit. And the dad turns around and he races back towards the kid. And you see one of the aliens come running out of the woods, and it's like a race. And like it's cool ass shot where the alien he's like here and the kid's here, and then the alien just and like takes him, and then it cuts straight to a Tyler car, and that's how the movie like starts. It's just that kid getting destroyed. Um, but I remember because then for the rest of the movie they kind of deal with the sister feels guilt for the kid getting killed and stuff. And I remember being like watching the back, I was gonna be like, oh yeah, well it was your fault. But then like I'm like it's kind of still partly her fault, but like she didn't think to move the batteries away from that kid or whatever. But yeah, for some reason, I thought that she gave him the batteries back, and I was glad to see she did not do that on the second time around. But anyway, R.I.P. that little kid.
It was and it's gruesome when the thing it takes a kid, it all takes the whole scene's like a minute.
Yeah.
But when that alien grabs that kid or does whatever it does to that kid, it is like it happens in like half a second,
Yeah.
but you can already tell that there's no getting that kid back. Like
Yeah.
this serious. And this is all like the first 5 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it sets the pace and
I like the sister's deaf too, by the way.
yeah.
But I
You don't
like
really know that for a while.
no, but
And
then
it's cool.
I think that bridge is when you discover it because it cuts to like a shot where it like shows you what she hears and it's nothing, and then she like sees her family turn around and she's like what? And she like turns around and sees the kid. Oh, sorry, microphone. And like sees the kid playing with the rocket. Yeah, but she's deaf.
There's times in this movie where like this girl is deaf, like she can't hear.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they kind of make her. I don't want to say dumb or like retarded or special needs or whatever.
Uh
But there's times where they make her seem like she's a dullard or like
huh. Fucking dull.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
there's times in it to where they're just like, oh, that's just Kathy, you know,
Yeah.
like she's a big old dummy and she's not. She's like the smartest one out of all of them.
Yeah.
But there's just weird times in this where they kind of make her seem I don't know, just dense,
Yeah.
I guess. But
The actress who plays the sister is really deaf, by the way. She helped
that's
out.
fine.
Yeah, she helped out a lot with the sign language and shit.
I mean, come on, you can Google show you how to do the sign.
I could learn sign language today.
Well, like they're like, oh, she helped out learn the sign language and stuff. This is like a multi-million-dollar picture.
Yeah.
There's no way that lady helped with anything. They had like
Well,
17 people there.
yeah, she wasn't like, I'm not saying she was the only one, but I'm saying she was like, you know, being like, oh, okay, well, this shit's more realistic or whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
But,
Right, because you got like someone speaking English who doesn't speak English,
yeah,
and they sound real funky.
yeah,
And then you have someone who really speaks like that's not how you would say that, and you're like, oh, okay.
yeah.
Every time I speak Spanish, I get corrected like that, so.
But, yeah, so then, also it cut, so what I kind of mean when I was talking about how nothing really happens is it goes from that to then it's like day 471 of the outbreak or whatever you want to call it. And then it goes from 471 and then the next day is 473 when shit kicks off. And they don't really do anything in between. It's like it goes from 471, the fucking I don't even let me see what happened on that day.
They go to the waterfall, right?
Yes. Yeah, they go to the waterfall. And then yeah, and then the next thing you
Let me
know.
ask you a question.
Okay.
So you've seen this movie twice. And
Twice.
You're like, oh, waterfall. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Whatever. That waterfall scene made no fucking sense at all. There's no reason for them to go. It was all just so they could say other sounds block out your sounds. And it's like, okay, that could have been like a 2-minute clip.
Yeah, it was for that and the little bit of dialogue where the brother's like, "Do you hold Charlie's death against the sister or whatever?" And he's like, "No." And
Yeah.
he's like, "Do you still love her?" And he's like, "Yeah." He was like, "You should tell her." Yeah, and they throw that one in there.
And then the most depressing part of the movie happens.
Which is that?
Where the old man in the woods and his wife like dies or whatever from like I guess a heart attack or whatever. Who knows what.
Yeah.
And she's like dead. And he's just standing there and he doesn't want to live without her. So he just starts screaming.
I hated that part.
It's rough, man. It's
Like,
rough.
I hated it the first time I saw it, and the second time, I'm like, why you put this old man in here? Like,
But like I think it's because like it's like he could have gotten them killed. That's pretty selfish for that old dude.
yeah,
But I think it's what he was trying to do because he's like, listen, I've been through this. You're just holding out the inevitable, right? Like
maybe.
we're all gonna get.
Yeah,
got.
like he starts screaming, and Dad's like, "Oh shit!" and like takes cover, but like everything I've seen so far, wherever the noise is, that's where the alien goes. It's like the alien doesn't go around fucking just swiping
Yeah,
at
I'm
everything.
picking air. You're getting in my
Yeah.
way. It's your fault.
It's like it
So
clearly is showing it's very precise in where it's attacking. So, but yeah, and then the only thing, because I swear they go from like 471 and then they do another jump to like 2 days later, 473, but I don't know what. But yeah, and then the wife is pregnant again, which I was like, this is a fucking terrible idea. Like,
yeah,
which I
yeah.
get, you can't stop making babies or whatever. But in a
You can.
world, what's up?
You can.
You can, yeah. But in a world of fucking just you have to be quiet. The thought of, bringing a newborn baby into that, it's like, oh god. So yeah, they're dealing with that the whole time. There's a part in this where the mom's like walking up the stairs and what she like drops her hamper or something. And she's like, "Ah, shit!" And she like it like hits the stair or whatever, and she goes up the stair, and then it zooms in on like a nail that's been exposed, and you're like, "Fuck," because later on it's just gonna come back.
So
And
good.
yeah, and then sure enough, fucking, I don't even remember what attracted. Oh god, my ear. Was she just because the alien was already in her house at that point? I don't remember what attracted the alien into the house.
Oh, is she having labor pains and she dropped a glass or something?
Well, she's holding that picture, and then she steps on the stair and drops the glass. Well, maybe that's what set it off. I don't know, but yeah, she comes down the stairs at one point, and it's just nailing the foot, and she's having to like hold it in. I was like, oh god. Yeah, and then she has to slowly try to pull it off, and I swear, because I swear the alien's already in the house at that point, but maybe he's not. But yeah, and then to make matters worse, she starts fucking going into labor as this alien is, going around her house, and so that's no fun. And yeah,
It's all right. I'm gonna interrupt here.
okay,
Well, no. Well, we keep going.
okay, okay,
But they have this elaborate thing to where they have these fireworks that go off
uh
in
huh,
case she goes into labor or just emergencies, right?
yeah, yeah,
So this is my problem with this movie.
uh huh.
It's dumb. No.
That's it.
So you don't know this yet, but hopefully you watched the movie. This isn't you just learning about it.
Uh huh.
But the dad has been like in his study or whatever,
Yeah.
garage, whatever you want to call it,
Like basement,
Kind of.
whatever.
trying to work on a hearing aid for this girl.
Yeah.
And there's all this like, he has like doodles on the walls, there's like 17 failed ones.
Yeah.
He's been working away. And he builds this trap that shoots fireworks so to,
Uh huh.
draw off the aliens. So why not just, I don't know, dig a big hole in the ground,
Uh huh.
throw that fucking rocket in the bottom with the noise, all the aliens come, and then you obviously know how to work stuff. Just
Yeah.
build a bomb and blow them all up.
Yeah.
There's so many things they could have done. They could have just taken like a radio and hung it from a tower out in the middle of nowhere, and all the aliens would stay there.
That kind of was one of my big issues with the movie was this whole time there's two things. There's fucking the dad working on the hearing aid for the daughter, and then he keeps, well, three, I guess. He keeps trying to radio different countries to see if anyone can answer back. Or not radio, but doot, 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 doot,
Morse code,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then three, he in big letters, they keep showing it. It's like, what is the weakness of these aliens? And supposedly there's three of them in the area that they know about. And so the whole time, they're like, what could damage these aliens? And then come to find out, this fucking hearing aid that she's got, it like goes on the fritz, and it'll make these super high frequency, like piercing sounds. And these aliens fucking freak out, and their heads start twitching. And then the mom like blasts him in the head with a shotgun once everything's exposed, and he like is dead or whatever. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me that all the greatest scientists and shit in the world couldn't figure out, oh, hey, these things that have giant 18, eardrums or whatever, it's like high pitched noises at a loud volume probably wouldn't bother these things.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course. Why did they try that instantly? Like,
yeah.
what? Yeah,
It there's a lot of like when you see the movie the first time, you don't pick up on stuff like that, but you've seen it
yeah,
as much as I have. Like so the dad gets to a point where he has to pick. The alien is about to kill his two kids,
yeah.
and he can't save them, so he ends up sacrificing himself for the sake of his. Now there's hijinks that go on to where he's like trying to save them, and these two kids are like bumbling
They
idiots. And
they fall in like the corn and like
the
the
grain cart or whatever.
yeah, and they're like drowning in corn. But then the monster comes in and they lay back down in the corn, but then somehow they don't drown then. So I was like, okay. But
They were holding on to the door,
yeah,
but
but and then that monster conveniently makes an opening for them to get out of the corn.
But yeah, like so there's hijinks or whatever. But the guy ends up he's sitting there and his kids are about to die, and they're about to die. It's an intense scene. But then him and his daughter have like a 5 minute conversation.
Yeah, it was only like two sentences, but you gotta sign all that shit out, and he's doing it
Yeah,
like slow mo. So it's
yeah.
like,
So I'm like, I have a feeling you could have done something, thrown a rock against the side of the house or
yeah,
something, right?
yeah. It's
Like
like I don't
anything
know
to
if you
look at
needed to
doing.
die here.
Yeah, and it's a super heart touching, like sad part,
It is
but at the same time,
you were talking about how it was super emotional. And the first time second time around, I was like,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it still gets me, right? Like I
yeah.
don't like it, but it still gets me.
That fucking scene was meme to death too. Like I didn't even know what it was, but I saw it before I ever saw the movie with him being like, ah,
Yeah,
like yelling.
it's like I said, but like the problem I have with this is like there's so many different things they could have done that they just decided they weren't going to do,
Uh huh.
and it just bugged me, right?
Yeah.
Like the lady has a shotgun and she blasts one of them, and that's cool and all,
Uh huh.
but it's like why didn't you just have that? There's got to be tons of guns everywhere.
Yeah.
Like all of these things that they could have just like have every kid with a gun. Because I don't know if you ever shot a gun, but it's a loud, piercing,
Yeah.
jar your ear type deal.
Yeah, it's
So
like
it's
if
like,
they're running towards you, you're just like,
yeah,
like,
yeah, just one shot would be
yeah,
like Jesus, and they wouldn't be able to like pinpoint for a while. So, but again, they were like, hey, don't pay any attention to that.
yeah.
So
I did think the in shot or whatever was super cheesy of the because then you see like the other aliens coming towards the house,
yeah,
and the girl like gets ready, and the mom's like, and then, like cuts the black, and I was like, oh man.
the only cool part about this is they invent that thing where it's like a bassinet or a crib. And they just
Yeah,
throw the baby in there and then they lock it
put
up.
a fucking
I'm
air
like,
mask on them, and they're like,
yeah,
oop.
see you in 3 weeks. Like
Yeah.
that kid ain't getting no feeding. He's
Which
just
then I don't think that you ever see that baby again because it floods,
yeah,
and then the mom has the shit. Where then you find out these things can fucking swim, and I was like, oh shit, because she like stands up in the water and that thing just slinks
yeah.
down, and I was like, oh man, uh, yeah. But then I don't think you ever see that baby again. Like, is it still in the basement? The basement's still flooding. Like, please go get that baby.
Yeah, nope, no, that's done.
Yeah.
GG.
GG
Uh,
baby. Spawn kill.
but like I said, it's your first time watching it. You're gonna feel really good about it unless you listen to this, and then you're gonna notice that there was a million things they could have done differently.
Yeah.
Like I think that being in like a big town, they're out in a cabin in the middle of the woods. And
Yeah.
they live underground, underground.
Yeah.
But like, I'd be in like an apartment on like the 13th floor,
Yeah.
like because there's no, like I said, these things are fast. Like, I'm sure they can jump real high and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
why would you be out in the middle of nowhere where it's super quiet? like I said, I'd have wind chimes up everywhere. I'd have just shit making noise constantly.
Yeah.
So
There were a couple of cheap little jump scares in here that got me. Like when they're playing Monopoly at one point. They're playing Monopoly with stickers because they can't fucking on the board or whatever. And I was like, oh man. And like the brother like reaches over for something and he just knocks over this lamp. And fucking the dad has to jump up and, you know, cover that shit
well,
out.
it's like an old school lamp.
Yeah.
That, like fire goes shooting up.
Yeah, yeah. And then they're like they wait for a little bit and they're like, all right, we're all good. And then like it's like bam! And it's like on the roof or whatever, and you're like, oh shit, it's aliens. And then it turns out to be two raccoons.
One's a little tubby little raccoon.
Yeah.
Too.
When he's looking out the window and then the raccoon's like
Yeah.
like fall down, scared the shit out of me. I went, jump back. But yeah.
So Maverick picked this movie. I don't think he watched it. He had things come up.
Uh-huh.
I'm willing to bet he would have hated it.
Yeah. Probably.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like
he surprises
it's
us. I never
burn.
know.
Yeah, it's like it's not like it is action packed though, so I don't know.
The last 40 minutes is like super tense and action shit, but also the music at the beginning is fucking great. And I guess they play it again when he's about to die. But it's just like the boom 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 and just the piano or whatever. Digged it.
The MCA right there, you nailed it.
Oh shit. Yeah.
But the mom, I
Uh-huh.
don't know her name, is amazing in this movie. Like I was telling you the other day, she's one of the best actresses I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's that dude's wife in real life, right?
Yeah.
But dude's really good too. Like I think those two are really great, and then you have these fucking kids.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the girl couldn't hear the direction. Everything else was good.
Fucking hate you. Fucking hate you.
But you know, they're really good at what they do. Like both of them, they're like power couple or whatever. I can't remember the guy's name.
John Krasinski.
Yeah, fucking Jim from The Office. That's what I was looking.
Whoa, Jack Ryan, please. I never watched either of those shows. So
I don't like him as Jack Ryan at all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he just seems annoying and nerdy. But then he like beats people up, so then you're just like, I'm confused.
That's every Jack Ryan book ever. He's like, oh, this nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good stuff.
Yeah. There's a part where the daughter's walking around the house and they have like taped out where to step so you don't creak or whatever. But she's like tiptoeing with this shit and it makes it look like it's so much harder to walk. Like if she just walked normal. And I was like, but then like I was like, was she trying to sneak downstairs and spy on what her dad was doing? Because she like tries to go downstairs and dad's like, and grabs her. And that's when he gives her that hearing aid. And she's like, stop it. They never work or whatever. Which I can understand because, he gives it to her still. And then she's like, But then later when she's alone, she like tries it out. And I bet because we see there's like fucking 20 of these things that never work. So I bet every time she like gets her hopes up a little bit. Where she's like, oh, maybe I can hear finally. And every time it's just like, nope. Get fucking shit on.
Well, it's to we're calling it a hearing aid. It's a cochlear implant to where it's completely different from a hearing aid.
Yeah, but it's easier to say hearing aid.
Yeah, so it's like, well, I think a hearing aid would probably be easy to make, right? Because that just amplifies sound.
Yeah.
And this is like using the I don't even know how they work.
Throw like on the eardrum and shit or something.
Yeah. I don't know, but it plugs into your head.
So, yeah.
It's like it doesn't really mess with the ear at all, I don't think. But anyways,
yeah.
It's like I said, it's a good movie, but the more you watch it, the more you realize that these guys had so much time out there that they could have done so many things.
Yeah.
So, but
I told Tyler this the other day. They go all the way with the bit. Like, this is a very quiet movie. Besides the point when they're in the under the waterfall, like they don't talk. If they do, it's very much like every now and then when they're signing, they'll sneak out like a couple like over here or some shit like that. But
That waterfall is deafening in the movie.
that waterfall is deafening. Like they, fucking the dad just starts yelling like a wild man. The kid's like, "Yo, shut the fuck up, dude!" And he's like, "Oh no, waterfall." And I remember being like, "Well, how loud could that actually be?" But then it like shows you the out and shows you the kid yelling. You can't hear shit. You can just hear that waterfall, and it was like. But then again, it's like, well, why don't the aliens always come to this waterfall? If this waterfall is so loud.
That's what I'm getting at. Like, if you had that radio up there and it's playing one song on repeat because you have like a solar panel hooked up to an iPad or whatever, and so it's fucking like a 10-hour repeat of Flight of the Bumblebee.
Yeah.
It's constantly going. They would never know to like, attack it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but like I said, I don't know. It just seems like they had to ignore a lot of things to just keep up with the appearances.
Yeah.
Though, okay, so they're in a cornfield, right?
Yep.
They live on a farm. That's what I said cabin earlier, but it's a farm. And there's like a shit ton of corn growing. How do you plant corn? Like by hand on that scale?
Yeah.
Like, farmers use tractors.
Yeah.
Probably the loudest like vehicle known to man.
I don't know. Well, I assume that I wonder. I don't think that was where they lived before shit kicked off. So I assume that most of that corn was already there. Like they came across this place. Who knows who lived there before? Where the fuck they went? But who knows? They could also just all be hand planted or some shit.
Yeah. The perfect rows of corn.
Yeah.
The fucking grain silo full
of corn. Yeah.
Because that's what you do. You keep corn around, until the next corn's ready. Get out of here.
Hey, this movie had a budget $17 million. It had a box office of $340 million. So made a little bit of change off this one.
The CGI on the aliens alone is impressive. I'm sure that was the majority of the budget.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when this came out, I think this came out, movies have a weird tendency where every year there'll be two movies that come out like a week apart that seem like the same shit. It happened with like White House Down and then Olympus Has Fallen, and those came out like the same week or whatever and all that shit. This movie, I swear, it came out the same time that movie with those kids that break into that deaf guy's house.
Yeah.
And they had to be quiet.
It's not Don't Say a Word. What is it?
Don't Breathe? Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. And for some reason, when these two came out, I remember confusing them a lot and being like, oh, Quiet Place is that fucking deaf dude, but they're not. Two very different movies. But weirdly enough, they just sort of have the same where you better be quiet or else you're going to get fucking got.
Yeah, the guy's going to get you.
Yeah. But
so like this has a gimmick where you have to be quiet, and they do it perfectly. Like like I don't think they ever talk except for at that waterfall.
Yeah.
Now imagine what's that movie with Sandra Bullock where they can't look at stuff?
Bird Box.
Imagine if they made you go through that movie blindfolded.
Yeah.
Like the screen was just black.
Yeah.
So you like experience what they did. You'd be like, this is horrible.
Yeah. I always say Bird Box is Quiet Place, just they switch the sensories or whatever.
And they got a worse actress.
Damn. But John Malkovich is in that bitch.
I stand with my statements.
Shit.
So, you don't know this, but Tom Cruise plays the alien in A Quiet Place.
Oh, yeah?
No, he doesn't.
No, I saw that John Krasinski was the alien a lot, where he just had a green suit on. He was like...
Really?
Yeah. And then I saw some other shit that was too, like, funny to believe, where apparently when they would have test screenings, not all the CGI was done. So these people would be watching it and they'd be like, oh no, this kid's gonna get killed. And it'd be John Krasinski in the green suit, like, running. And they would fucking laugh. And the people were like, oh man, this movie's gonna bomb. And then they were like, oh, maybe we should just finish the CGI before we... But yeah, so shout out to that. But oh, by the way, breaking news: Jacksonville head coach fired after the season.
Well, they were 13-3 last season, right?
I think they were 13-3 2 seasons ago, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, they're gonna start making trouble." And then they were pretty bad last year, and then this year they only won once. So
American football, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah,
Not aliens killed.
no,
That was nothing to do.
yeah,
But yeah, the movie's good. Like I said, the more you see it, the more you hate it. But you know that's. I think you can do that with a lot of things. Some movies, the more you watch it, the more you love it. But
yeah.
I'm gonna go on record as saying that I think John Krasinski wanted to die at the end. I think he finally realized that, like, what's the point?
Oh yeah,
And then he just gave up. You know.
yeah,
Oh, but that's like I said, just my opinion. You know. I think what he saw with the old man sunk in, and he was like, "Okay, guy was onto something." Deuces,
Yeah.
you know. So, and then it's like, I don't want to say it, but there's a famous movie based on a Stephen King book where the guy he dies, and then as soon as someone dies, the army shows up and saves him because he gives himself up.
yeah,
Right, John Krasinski dies, and then literally like 6 minutes later in the movie, they're like, "Oh wait, we figure out exactly how to kill
yeah.
this thing.
We
You
got
know,
it.
like, yeah, we're good."
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh,
Oh.
awkward. We can bury Daddy now.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, you got a favorite and least favorite part of this movie? I keep saying BOGO. Wogo, whatever the fuck we're calling this.
Worst part, best part. So it's whoopee.
Yeah.
Well, we were supposed to think of something. We never do.
Ah.
It's hard enough getting guys to show up for the cast and figuring out stuff to say. Anyways, I mean, I'm gonna have to say my favorite part is just the aliens, right?
Yeah.
They're done so well. They're not on the screen like for like 60 minutes of the film.
Yeah, they're not overdone.
Yeah, you only see them when you need to see them. It's almost scarier when you don't see them. And Homegirl's acting is just so good. The worst part, and it's not that it's bad, it's just it gives me goosebumps or whatever,
Uh-huh.
is the nail on the stair.
Oh, yeah.
And when she steps on that fucking thing, and then when she steps off of it and it's bloody, oh. Like, it hurts my soul. But, like, it's good. But I don't have a worst part. Like, the kids would have to be the worst part. But I understand why they're there, you know.
Yeah.
They're critical to the story, so.
My favorite part was probably when she stepped on the nail.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
a great, right? You're like, at that point, you're so invested that you're like, oh no. And I hate to spoil it for everyone. The nail doesn't really do shit.
No.
She handles it like a champ. She's like,
Yeah.
yep, that happened, you know? And you're like, oh man, this girl's
Yeah.
badass. So.
My least favorite part was obviously when them two poor little cute raccoons got slaughtered. No, my least favorite part was that old dude. I'm like, okay. It's like they needed the body count to go up. And like, okay, let's have this old guy. But no,
There's like, John was like, no. He was like shaking his head real fast.
yeah.
And the old guy was just like, huh?
Yeah, the old dude, like John Kransky, like his yell is pretty good or whatever. But the old guy's like, ah, like, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that wife. You said it. Or I don't know what the old girl died of. She was just like laying there.
Yeah. So it's like, I think it was just old age or sickness or
Yeah.
whatever. And the
But-
guy was like, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
do it without her.
By the way, this movie, PG-13, and like the monsters, which I don't think works against it in this one. Like, you don't like the monsters just sort of, and then people be gone, which I don't think you really needed any gore for it or whatever. But don't expect like a fucking what's that goddamn movie? Starship Troopers or whatever, where aliens start like sucking out brains and shit, you know,
Or titties.
or titties, or
The Starship
dicks.
Shooter was like randomly, just a bunch of nude stuff.
Yeah, randomly that movie just has a bunch of fucking nudity. And it's like, oh. Anyway, shout out Starship Troopers.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. But anyway, got anything else to talk about with this one?
I just think the acting was great. I'm thinking. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I'm looking.
It was weird that they put sand everywhere so they couldn't hear him walk. And I would figure that they would just use like extra padding shoes.
Yeah.
I think the tip going is they had to do that.
Maybe.
I think like this space dictated how much they could step
Yeah.
down. So I think it was like, this is how you get through the house or whatever.
There was that other scene that I wasn't that like I kind of get why it was there, but I was just sort of like, all right, let's move on with the movie. Even though I like the song, but when they're dancing to Neil Young, just in the basement, and like they both have like an earbud in and shit.
Oh yeah.
And like I was like, okay, cool. But I was like, let's keep it going. But
It's like, that's how you got in this predicament to begin with. Maybe stop listening to Neil Young and slow down.
yeah. But because the second, all it takes is like for someone to move too bad and the fucking thing to get taken out, and then the phone starts playing or whatever they're listening on.
I was talking about them fucking.
Oh.
Making the baby.
I was talking about. I thought you were talking about
yeah,
the noise.
You're talking about making noise. I'm talking about next time you go to the drugstore, maybe pick up some condoms.
Yeah, right.
Fucking irresponsible.
Oh, there was that great part where the fucking the son is like in the cornfield and he hears some shit. He's trying to like run away and turns around, just face first into a tractor, just eat shit. Yeah.
That kid, man. If anyone should have played with the rocket ship, it was him.
Yeah, like the dad built it into what they keep like saying that he blames the girl or whatever. He like takes the boy to go out fishing with him and shit. But like everything with the boy was clearly like, that dude dropped a fish at one point and the boy like started to freak out and start to run. He's the one that fucks everything up too, cuz Kransky gets whipped by the fucking alien. And then the kid like, "Dad!" And I was like, "Why would you?" Which I get, instinct or whatever. But it's like you went a year and a half of not talking. Why was this the moment where you were like, all right?
Well, didn't they go to the drugstore in the beginning to get medicine for him?
Yeah, like some Tylenol or some shit.
Yeah, he had like an infection or something.
Yeah.
So,
which my instinct would be to then take all that medicine home, but I get it's probably like, down the fucking road. You can't carry all the medicine.
Well, no, you would just put something in it. Like,
Yeah.
fill it with paper or something. But I think it was more of other people live there, so they're leaving it in case they needed it. Good of the community.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
But anyway,
I don't know. It's a weird movie, but I dig it.
I'm interested to see what the sequel's about. Cillian Murphy's in that bitch too, so. But I swear, the sequel, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. So.
Yeah, he's in it, and it looks like he's the one that's helping out the family. But I swear, like I keep saying, it looks like a prequel. So I'm like, do they meet John the fucking? But then the kids are there, or so I'm like, do they meet the dad later, or has society been rebuilt and now it's like come back or some shit? But who knows?
I think it's the second. I think
it's
going to be a story about these aliens.
Uh-huh.
But it's also going to be a story about her moving on after the death of her husband.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So.
Why does your new mask look like John Goodman? Why does he look so
like that? I don't know if you noticed. I raised the homeboy up a little bit, so he's not all droopy on the neck.
Michael's looking a little thick.
He's a thick boy.
Look at him.
Thick ass boy.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think you should turn it a little, but just
yeah.
But anyway. So hey, Tom got a new mask.
Yeah, Michael's on the set now. You know, I was like, oh, I need a Jason mask, but it's just a Augie mask. It's like it's so boring. You
Put
can
it
get
on the tar man.
yeah, you can get the one from like Jason Goes to Hell where he's all fucking nasty looking, and you could get that, but I don't like that movie, so.
Can you get the Jason in space one?
Oh,
Where's metal?
Jason X, yeah,
Yeah.
I might. I'll look around.
And
Hey,
then get like a real life replica of Terminator 2, like this metal guy,
yeah,
and just have it on him,
just have it on him, yeah.
and just make the dude stand in the back, be like, "Hey, you were homeless. You got a home now. Shut up." You know.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
anyways, A Quiet Place, solid flick. I don't think you'll. It's hard to find anyone who didn't like the movie. I think worst case scenario, you'll enjoy it and watch it once and never again.
Yeah.
I made everyone I knew watched it.
Did.
Made everyone I know watch it.
Sure.
It came out weird,
Yeah.
like, but
All right.
it's good stuff. But just don't think, and you'll be a lot better.
Well, hey, next week it's my pick.
Oh,
Yeah. And the movie I'm picking, I've never seen. What's up?
have I seen it?
You might. I don't know. I literally have about zero idea on what the fuck it's even about. They made a remake of it that's pretty infamous. Well, you know, I have a feeling I'm predicting this. It's either going to be the greatest thing I've ever seen, or it's going to be the worst piece of shit I've ever seen. And I don't think there's going to be any middle ground. So, Tyler, we're going all the way back to 1973
All right, hold
for.
on, let me guess.
Okay.
1973.
Yep.
What year did the remake come out?
I'll say 05.
05.
Yeah.
Fuck. What other movies came out in 05? It's not A House on Haunted Hill, is it?
No, we did that.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, well we didn't do the original, but
Yeah. The Exorcist.
no, it's 2006. By the way, the remake came out.
Oh well, shit.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You
I
would have
fucked
gave me
it.
the right info.
Yeah.
Then maybe. No, I don't. I don't know.
Okay.
Like I can't think of anything good. Like the Wolfman. I don't know.
No, I do plan on picking that at one point though, but not this week. This
The one
week.
with Jack Nicholson.
Oh no, I was American Werewolf in London. But this week, picking The Wicker Man. There you go.
The original or the old?
The
one?
original from '73 with
I said
Christopher.
it backwards.
Yeah, the original or the old one? And I was like,
Yeah.
But starring Christopher Lee, motherfucking Christopher Lee in this bitch.
Yeah, he died last year, right?
Last year, or like the year before, yeah, the homie Christopher
Yeah,
Lee.
usually I'm really off of these things, and they're very much alive.
Yeah, no, but
No,
that one's dead. Yeah, but you ever listen
But,
to any of his like metal albums that he made?
Yeah.
There's something.
Hopefully they're not required to watch the movie.
Yeah,
But I don't know if I've ever seen it either.
for some reason, the horror community in the last like month keeps mentioning it, and I'm like, why the fuck are they talking? And I had no idea what it's about. I just know in the fucking remake, there's the scene with Nicolas Cage where he's like,
Yeah.
the bees. I don't think that's a part of the original movie, but we're gonna check it out. So next week, The Wicker Man. Look forward to that. So yeah.
Christopher Lee's pretty fucking extraordinary in everything he does. So
Yeah. So we'll see.
But I mean, I'm not saying Nick Cage isn't. I'm just
Yeah.
good pick. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We don't know yet. So next week, fucking The Wicker Man. Watch out for it. Monday coming out. Got an overtime of Return of the Living Dead 2. And oh boy, that one's a doozy. So watch out for that one. And yeah. Got anything to say before we sign off to the people of America and Ireland or wherever they listen?
This is just. I mean, I could have said this any time. But
Okay.
I think we need to start telling people where we find it that we watch.
Oh yeah.
So if, for example, if you say, "Hey, I watched A Quiet Place. It's on Netflix this month,"
Uh huh.
and then that way they know where to watch it, or hey, I rented it on Amazon.
Yeah. I've been surprised at how many times we pick something, and it's just never free. No, it's always I just always rent
Well,
it.
yeah, we should just pick stuff that's free, but we
If
don't.
we were smart, yeah, but we just
That'd be the first thing we did is just type in the search horror and then go from there.
yeah. Yeah.
Like what movie I'm picking. I've been talking about it the last 2 days. So and
Oh man.
I don't know where to find it.
I don't know.
So I'm thinking about ordering the Blu-ray and just letting you borrow it.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, hey, next week, Return of the Living Dead 2 and The Wicker Man. And we'll see you then. All right.
hey, don't we have something coming out soon? Oh, never mind.
Okay. All right.